Welcome back to the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast. Today we are speaking about buyer agency part 1. Today we are speaking about buyer agency, and I have Jill Paddock here with me. And we did pick out some of our favorite and most important parts of the buying process. So Jill, tell us a little bit more about that first step, the buyer consultation.
Thanks for having me, Alicia. So let's start by talking about the buyer consultation. That would be what I consider one of the most important pieces of a buyer agent's role.
Okay.
Now, most people looking to purchase a home, of course, realize that they want and need representation.
Mm-hmm.
In looking for somebody, they may decide to interview a few different agents, which is great. You need to make sure that an agent is able to meet your needs and that you also have a good feeling towards them. You should be working with somebody that you feel like you can trust, that you feel like you can speak openly and honestly with, and that you feel like can guide you through the whole process, because it is a long one.
It is.
So in that initial consultation, the buyer's agent should be focusing on understanding your needs. Is there a specific timeline you have in mind? Is location more important to you? Are there loans that you're going to be focusing on?
Mm-hmm.
Different things like that, understanding your personal scenario. Because while they may have sold 25 houses so far that year, you are unique, and they need to understand what makes your situation different from everything else so they can understand how to best help you. The other thing that they need to be doing is setting some realistic expectations. If you're sitting there and meeting with a buyer's agent whose answer is yes to everything, you may want to question how upfront they're being with you. While we don't want to tell people no, if they're hoping to buy a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home on an acre in the city of Tucson, and they're hoping to keep their payment at $1,400 a month in the current market, that's probably not going to happen. So again, not crushing your dreams, but also helping you understand realistically what you can expect to get for the money, or for the area, or different things like that.
Okay.
And then finally, they should be walking you through the big picture of the home buying process. What does it look like from start to finish? They don't necessarily need to go into every single little detail, but they should be going through the big picture. What are the major milestones in buying a house, and seeing what questions you have from there.
Okay. So it sounds like that initial, sitting down with your agent is to see if you're a good fit with them, make sure that they are, going to be the best person to walk you through this process, because you're right, it is a big decision and there's a lot that goes on. So you want someone that you can trust and that you actually like to work with you. And
Absolutely.
Then someone that's going to sit down and actually understand your needs and your wants and set those realistic expectations.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Definite first step.
Great. And we know that us as agents, we show a lot of houses. Tell me a little bit more about what that means to a buyer.
Okay, great question. So in the home buying process, once you have somebody that you feel like you can trust in your corner, the next step is going out with them and looking at houses. Now, in that initial discussion with them, or those initial first weeks, you should have an understanding of what loan type you're using.
Okay.
And your agent should be helping you choose houses that will work. Nobody wants to waste their time looking at something that, for instance, you can't live in because maybe it's a 55 and older community and you're 30. Okay. Things like that. Not to say you can't live there, but it may be a restriction for you.
And you mentioned the loan type. So not every house is going to accept every single loan.
You're exactly right.
Okay.
So there are a lot more stringent requirements on homes that are being purchased with an FHA or a VA loan.
Okay.
A good real estate agent is going to be able to take a look at the house, tell you about any potential issues they see, and how those could be addressed. It's not necessarily a deal breaker at all. It's just knowing up front that that's going to be something that has to be addressed. So that way, when the report comes back, you're not surprised by that.
Okay, great. So you want to make sure that your agent is showing you homes that actually fit not only what you need, but what loan type you're going to be using. Now, when it comes to finding a home that they are ready to write an offer on, how do you take a part in that, in protecting your clients?
Okay, that's another great question, because there are a lot of aspects to an offer that need to be considered and addressed. And what one home may look like as far as an offer goes, could be completely different from another, even within like the same person looking at purchasing them.
Yeah.
Reason I say that is your agent should be looking to find out how long has a home been on the market? Were there other offers previously? If they weren't accepted, why weren't they accepted? Did they fall through? And what reason did they fall through? They should be able to have a conversation with that listing agent to get you that information. They also, with your loan type, again, are there going to need to be certain things repaired on the home? Are you looking for some help with closing costs? Different things like that. And then talking you through the pros and cons. Does it look better for you with your monthly budget to offer a lower amount on the house and not ask for any closing costs? Or is it more beneficial to you to just go ahead and offer the list amount and then ask for closing costs to help you buy down your rate? That's something that the agent should, stand and talk about pros and cons with you so that you can make the right decision. It's never the agent's job to tell you what to do. If you feel like you're getting pushed into something, that's a sign that it might not be a good fit. What they should be doing is giving you the information you need based on their experience to help you make that right decision.
Okay, so having an agent, helps you really outline what your options are to figure out what's going to be best for you. And you want an agent that's going to go out there and communicate for you and, start those conversations to make sure that you're, putting the best deal out there.
Absolutely. They should be looking at comparable sales in the area, making sure things are accurately priced, being able to, once you write that offer and submit it, being able to advocate for that with the listing agent, all sorts of different things like that as far as communication goes and pushing for what's in your best interest.
Hey everyone, we want to interrupt this episode to let you know that we are a Keller Williams Southern Arizona franchise.
We are also realtors practicing equal housing. Now let's get you back to the podcast.
So once we do have a client that has a home under contract, we enter our inspection period. How does an agent play a role in that?
So once we have a home under contract, that inspection period starts immediately here in Arizona. The agent that you've chosen to work with should have given you a list of possible inspectors. So that way, if it's really important to you to vet and check out and explore the inspectors yourself, you've had the time to do that. The agent should then be ordering those inspections for you. Now, if you've owned homes before, things that come back on these inspection reports may not be a surprise to you. They may not be overwhelming or scary. If you don't have a whole lot of experience with home ownership, or maybe you're somebody who just, isn't, being handy around the house isn't really something that you are familiar with, some of these items may seem really overwhelming. So in that case, then the agent should help you walk through those inspection reports. They can let you know things that they see often, things that they don't see. If it's a real specific question, they should be pointing you in the direction back to the home inspector to give you the correct input on that, or, towards the other professional who can then help you figure out, is this a big deal? Is this not a big deal? Is this going to be an expensive fix? And different things like that. Once you've gone through all of those reports with them, they're going to help you put together a list of items that you would like the seller to repair.
Okay.
And then help, of course, negotiate for you on those repairs.
Okay. So it definitely sounds like a very important time period because you're figuring out everything you can about the house. So your agent, as an agent, you'll be helping them not only schedule the inspections, but review what comes out on those reports to make sure that they're not missing anything.
Yes. And you brought up a good point with everything about the house. We talk so much about the physical house itself, but we don't want to forget if it's really important to you for certain things to be in the area, or making sure to remind you to drive the area different times a day so you're familiar with traffic patterns, or what Saturday afternoons look like. Helping you and reminding you of those and pointing you in the directions of other resources if there's other information you need.
Okay, because I can see that, those things being missed in the process. There's so much going on, especially as a home buyer. So having someone there to look out for those things for you.
Yeah, they're there to remind you. Keep in mind, your agent should be a full-time agent who does this all the time. They know the steps and they're there to remind you. Like, your job is not to remember everything. It's their job to help remind you and walk you through all this.
Okay. And let's say there are repairs that need to be done. How does that negotiation process go?
Okay, another great question. The agent would help you, of course, figure out what are the, major repairs that are safety issues, structural issues, things like that, things that aren't functioning correctly. and being able to present that to the listing agent as far as here's what needs to be done, here's why this is important. Is there a potential that it could impact the appraisal? Things like that. And then, of course, to advocate, there are different things that maybe to one buyer wouldn't be important, but to another one really are. Help advocate for those as well. Trying to negotiate all of those repairs to the best of their abilities, on your behalf. And then anything that maybe isn't able to be covered, help guide you in getting those things taken care of anyways.
Okay, so you'll be handling all the communication with the agent about those repairs that are requested.
Yes.
Okay.
That's, a lot of times I find buyers will say, well, I'd really like this, but I don't want to ask for too much. It's always, my answer, let me be the bad guy. Like, let me go in there, advocate for you. So let's see what we can do. It's, this is not on you at all. You tell me what you want to see and we'll do what we can.
Good. Okay, so you're carrying all that weight for them.
Absolutely. It's stressful buying a house.
Yes. Right. Well, I appreciate you sharing all of your insight on what we talked about today. I know that everyone's wondering what buyer agency means and what that looks like, and that definitely helps paint a picture for them.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So make sure that you don't miss out on part 2. We're going to be talking about what happens after the due diligence period, which is your inspections. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you want to learn more, and share this video with anyone that may find it helpful.
Thank you for listening and watching the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast here with the Tom J. Krieger team of Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. If you are interested in buying a home, selling a home, or even investing in real estate, we have 5,000 agents across the country that we can connect you to. If you need any free resources, feel free to check out our website at www.thetjkteam.com. We hope you have a great day.